What's happening in Belarus? An inspection of the training grounds has begun. Residents of Belgorod have been left without hot water until the end of the heating season. It has become known who killed Alexei Navalny and with what substance. Retail trade in Russia is finished. There's no one around and it's total depression. The Kremlin has decided to urgently block Telegram and silence everyone who can tell the truth. How do people survive in Donbass with Belarus, Belgorod, Navalny, retail, Telegram, Donbass? I'll tell you how Russians are being deceived when it comes to utilities. Who received the prize for the most unique bouquet on February 14th in Russia? And in a shopping mall in Ufa, there was a stampede because of freebies. Hello everyone, my name is Yulia Kort and this is the program In Trend. Every day we bring you the latest news, show interesting videos and debunk fakes. A massive drone attack is happening in Moscow right now.
Airports.
Operations at the major international hubs of Domodedovo and Vnukovo were temporarily restricted and faced significant disruptions earlier today due to the immediate threat of incoming drone attacks. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin officially mentioned that at least 18 drones were successfully shot down by defense systems. However, according to various Russian media sources and local reports, it was further stated that the scale of the incident might be broader than initially confirmed, that more than 155 drones were shot down. However, these figures are extremely approximate. What's happening in Belarus? Lukashenko arrived to inspect a training ground.
Of course, he's nervous. The president is standing right behind him. I understand that there's a certain amount of anxiety. Well, that's just how it is. The Belarusian dictator warned that
he will make life more difficult for Belarusian Defense Minister Viktor Kren, and called on the military to be ready for any turn of events, noting that anyone who is unprepared is a dead man. Residents of Belgorod have been left without hot water until the end of the heating season. This was announced by Governor Gladkov. There will be no water in
homes connected to the centralized heating system Federation Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin after a detailed analysis by our heating and energy specialists of the latest destruction.
A video has gone viral online showing a father reading a non-existent story to his daughter. Utility damage means no hot water for Belgorod this season, as seen in viral clips.
The dad reading his daughter fake cookie instructions. First, you have to eat cabbage.
Responded instantly and updated the packaging, though so far only online.
Meat cabbage earns cookies per the new online rules. My worst day was Munich 2 years ago. I courageously went up on that stage and I told the whole world that it was actually Vladimir Putin who killed my husband.
Regarding my husband's death, I publicly blamed Vladimir Putin. It's now known Alexei Navalny was killed with epibatidine, a frog poison. This was confirmed by several European nations after analyzing biomaterial samples smuggled out by his family. The poison was verified by multiple independent labs. Official representatives and delegates from each of the 5 participating countries formally convened to issue a comprehensive and unified joint statement regarding their shared objectives and future cooperation.
At the Munich conference, studies detected epibatidine, a paralyzing neurotoxin. 2 years later, we know Alexei Navalny was poisoned in Russian custody. His remains contained epibatidine, a nerve agent 200 times more potent than morphine, causing agonizing suffocation via muscle paralysis. Only Putin's henchmen know what happened.
Occurred February 16, 2024, in a Russian prison. Epibatidine is on the website of the State Research Institute of Organic Chemistry and Technology, which developed the Novichok poison.
One thing, the Russian authorities had both the motive and the means to use poison against Navalny. Alexei Navalny was not only the courageous face of the Russian opposition, he had already once become the victim of a treacherous poisoning. After that, he underwent treatment at Berlin's Charité clinic. And despite the fact that he returned to Russia, his death, the second anniversary of which, the brave face of Russian opposition, he once survived the poisoning and was treated at Berlin's Charité clinic. After returning to Russia, his death, whose second anniversary is Monday, is a blow to those in Russia still hoping for freedom. Putin tramples on international law and humanity daily, not just in Ukraine. Furthermore, the international obligations he is bound by, under the Chemical Weapons Convention, are also being entirely and systematically disregarded by his administration at every level.
He remains entirely indifferent to the people around him and their suffering. The poisoning was just another calculated move, and he shows no remorse for his actions.
Navalny's case demands action, yet Russia dismisses it. Without this, all the talk and statements are just information dumps intended to distract attention from the pressing problems of the West.
If there are formulas for the substances, then there will be a comment. Without this, all the talk and statements are just information dumps intended to distract attention from the pressing problems of the West. Well, Putin's press secretary Peskov said that he knows nothing about these statements and cannot say anything. And this is what shopping malls in Russia look like now. Everything is for rent. Businesses can't cope. This is the current state of wholesale and retail trade. This is exactly what almost all of the medium and small shopping centers look like these days. There is absolutely no one there anymore. It is a scene of total depression and stagnation. You can feel the shock from the rapidly rising prices and a sense of complete despair among the few remaining visitors. These are the very same people who, back in 2022, were shouting with such confidence and enthusiasm about the future. West, leave! We don't need you! We can handle it ourselves. Our import substitution is better than anything else. West, leave. We don't need you. We can handle it ourselves. Our import substitution is the best there could possibly be. So what and how? How are Russians putting up with this? Let's talk honestly about it in the comments under this video. Putin's hired army has turned into an army of looters. In this video, it's clearly explained why the Kremlin has decided to urgently block Telegram and silence everyone who can tell the truth.
He arrived. The boy is serving. He's a mortar operator. They took away 2 cars from him, wiped him out, re-registered them to clerks, and then those cars were sold for the benefit of the detachment commanders in the ministry. And this happens all the time. Weapons are constantly being taken away from the front line. I don't know where it goes, but weapons are being withdrawn from the front line to the detachment in the so-called zone.
In the so-called Special Military Operations Zone, mass executions of mercenaries, extortion, arms trafficking, and crime are rampant. Just in his unit alone, the commanders executed more than half of the personnel, about 50 people.
In his unit alone, commanders shot over half the men, about 50 people. The bribe to avoid the front line is 1 to 3 million. People aren't sent there, even if ready. Convoys aren't released until they are bled dry. Once the money runs out, they're sent. They either suicide or our drones get them. I've seen this happen many times. A person, a human body, is carefully and solemnly laid down into a deep, dark pit that has already been prepared in the cold ground for this very moment.
Commanders killed 50 of our own, faking enemy attacks. While TV hides this, tell us if you can still access our channel despite Kremlin censorship. And we wish you could know the truth, the one they'll never show on YouTube. It's very important for us to know, because the Kremlin...
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
...is tightening the screws. And we wish you could know the truth, the one they'll never show on federal channels in Russia. In the occupied part of the Luhansk region, people are, in quotes, overjoyed at the arrival of the Russian world.
They pay a lot, they get paid. Well, just see for yourself. Look at how our housing maintenance office works in Antratsit. They're sprinkling ice near the entrances. However, I do have just one specific question. For the people over at our housing office, we pay an absolutely crazy amount of money for this specific kind of premium service. Wait, are you guys actually serious? This is just ridiculous. These are the kinds of little paths we get, and this is just one courtyard. So how much are they going to sprinkle throughout the whole city? Or is it just that they sprinkled in some places, and in others, nobody cares at all? We pay so much for this terrible service? Is this really all we get for our money?
On everything? Just to make money on everything. Or the situation with water is not improving. People actually have to literally drill for it. We are out here drilling right now.
Water. They'll go out and do it themselves. They're saving on everything just to make money on everything. Or the water situation isn't improving. People are literally forced to
drill for water, clear.
It's frozen solid, apparently. The bottom is frozen through. Yeah. The drill goes in almost...
We have come all this way through the terrain, but there is still not a single drop of water to be found. And you know, if it weren't for the supplies we brought along,
Makiivka's bench opening. It's being cut. Hooray, Valentine's Day. Let's make a wish.
make a wish. Don't like giving your entire salary away for rent? Don't like being deceived? Oh, Russia, such a generous soul. Don't worry, dear Russians. Putin has already taken care of you and made rent and utility prices equal.
This is an address to Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. I just can't take it anymore. I'm an ordinary person from Krasnoyarsk. Here, renting an apartment costs 40,000. The usual price is 40,000 for a small family. The average real salary in Krasnoyarsk, not your official numbers, but the real one, is 40,000. So we get our salary and give it all away for the apartment. And that's only if, thank God, you're married and the second person in the family at least. Some people might somehow be able to make ends meet and have at least a little bit of money left over at the end of the month, but buying an apartment is a completely unrealistic dream for almost everyone. Mortgages currently start at a staggering 20% per year, which is a rate that makes borrowing money for a home just absolutely impossible and entirely out of reach for the average person living here today.
Mr. President, we need housing funds. Stop the cover-ups by all the things they're being told. Now you have to pay as much for utilities as you used to for rent. And for rent, accordingly, it's twice as much. Now, utilities cost as much as rent used to, and rent has doubled. An apartment might look like this.
A Russian woman reviewed her new apartment, showing mold, wall holes, and balcony leaks. Moving from the luxury entrance into the unit, she highlights the spreading biofrescoes. As you may have noticed, the developer took care to ensure our unity with nature. So in many units, a unique culture of black mold has been planted. This is the concept of vertical landscaping, an exclusive texture of living walls that changes every day. It grows on its own, no need to water it since the apartments are regularly flooded. The bathroom is equipped with a free swimming feature. The bathtub isn't fixed in place, so you can move it around as you please. Waterproofing sealant is a relic of the past. Our developer advocates for an open relationship between the bathtub and the wall. The joints need to breathe. Natural mold. The same principle is observed. These very cracks that are forming are an innovative system of natural ventilation, available only to a select few. I have one like that. Listen.
Would you like me to tell you how Russians are being cheated when it comes to utilities? A Russian woman complains that she pays under terrible conditions. Here is how Russians are cheated on utilities. One woman, paying huge amounts for terrible conditions, was shocked after visiting the housing office, yet she still failed to get any results.
The apartment because she didn't get it. If we take a comprehensive look at the final financial statements and accounting records that were processed as of the very end of December, we can see that the total expenditure for this specific transaction was officially documented at a price of exactly 49,000 Russian rubles. At the same time, I have a completely ordinary apartment without golden toilets or any kind of luxury. When I saw that bill, of course, I was outraged and hurried to get to the bottom of this situation.
erupts are related to a recalculation for water, but not for the water actually used, meaning consumed, but for the average amount, which they calculate when you don't submit your meter readings. However, of course, I do submit my readings, but there are 2 meters that were replaced due to malfunction. They were making a terrible whistling noise and the neighbors were going crazy, so I had to replace them. For some reason, they just weren't deregistered. They were replaced, I was given the official documents. I submitted everything where and when I was supposed to, but they weren't taken off the records. Why? That's a rhetorical question. And
also, what do you think about this? Write in the comments and don't forget to leave a like. They scam and milk their own people at every turn. So, what do you think about this? Write in the comments and don't forget to like this video and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything interesting. The Ministry of Agriculture explained the rise in cucumber prices by seasonality and the high costs of greenhouse production, expecting prices to drop in the spring. Meanwhile, in the State Duma, they recommended that Russians grow cucumbers at home on their windowsills instead of waiting for prices to go down. So, the award for the most unique bouquet in Russia as a gift for loved ones on Valentine's Day goes to this one. The most expensive bouquets made of cucumbers, comrades. I was surprised, of course, but still, for several years now, Valentine's Day has been cancelled in Russia, yet people stubbornly refuse to give it up. What's more, they rushed for freebies for the holiday and almost killed each other in the process. A massive stampede broke out during a gift giveaway at a shopping mall in Ufa. 2 people were injured there. 7,000 balloons were dropped from the ceiling at the Planeta shopping center. Only 20 of them had various certificates inside. Immediately,
a wild stampede began. 4, 3, 2, 1, get ready to watch the game. Here we go.
Well, that definitely didn't go exactly as we had planned. But it's all right, it's all right. In the midst of the chaos, a great many people suddenly started feeling incredibly unwell as the situation escalated. Consequently, several emergency ambulances arrived quickly on the scene to provide urgent medical assistance. As a direct result of the terrifying stampede that broke out, a young 12-year-old child was unfortunately injured in the crush. This young boy had to have a heavy plaster cast put on his limb to stabilize the injury, and at the same time, a 27-year-old woman was also rushed to the local hospital after being diagnosed with a painful closed fracture that required immediate professional care of her leg. And the White House in the USA also celebrated the holiday in a rather original way. They released their own version of Valentines. For example, with Trump and executive orders, and also with the Democrats, with Maduro and the caption, "You have captured my heart." The White House also celebrated with unique Valentines featuring Trump, executive orders, and Maduro. They even included Greenland to define their relationship. Finally, a new Guinness World Record was set for the most. The world record for the most kisses was set by the Briton Joshua Sanders. He passionately kissed his beloved partner a total of 146 times in a row.
In a mere 30 seconds, everything changed completely. It is truly remarkable how such a brief window of time can contain so much action and consequence. To understand the full scope of this situation, we need to look closely at the specific sequence of events as they unfolded. Let us now take a very detailed look at the footage to observe exactly how it happened, step by step, from the very beginning to the final conclusion of the incident. We have just 10 seconds left before we finish. Let's start the final countdown now. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is all the time we have for today. So let's go ahead and stop right there.